Hi Tarot Tribe, it's Ethany, and today is day 18 of the 31 days of tarot. And today's prompt is, how do you pick your decks for readings? Really, really cool question. I have a number of ways to pick my cards for readings. Some of it is themed, so if you've watched any of the other videos, I talk about how I have specific decks for specific readings that I really like to work with. So the Victorian Romantic is one for romance readings, and the Orosoma Tarot is one for my Orosoma Tarot readings, which makes sense. I use my Wake and Soul Oracle deck a lot. I use the Jewelcraft a lot. But it does also change up. I have chakra decks for different chakra readings that I do as well. But I do change it up. Sometimes I will get a hit when I read. So when I've set everything up for a reading and I'm getting ready to go, and I get a hit of what I'm reading through my client's request before I begin again. And I'll get a hit in regards to what energy or what deck would like to come and play for that one. I rarely get clients ask for a specific deck, but if they do and I do have it, I would definitely honor that choice for them as well. Sometimes it's seasonal, so you've seen I'm sure if this is the first video, hi, that if you have seen some of my videos on the decks that I work with during the season, so like a lot of animal decks usually in the spring, and I like working a lot of fae decks in the summer, so that also plays in consideration. And I also just like mixing it up because I have got lots, so I tend to make sure that I cycle what is at arm's length so that I can, change it up and grab a deck pretty quickly. Like here we've got quite a few oracle decks on the top there. And then I got lots of tarot decks down here. Like I just got the Seventh of the Light Tarot, shut the back door. So I've got decks here. I've got a little Morgan Greer, which if you've known me for any amount of time, you know that I've worked with the Morgan Greer for many, many years. This is not the Morgan Greer that I had, that I worked with. Mine's beaten up and very well worn, but this was a little travel deck that I took with me. Even when I went to the States on my road trip, little tin version came with me. So I just make sure that they're accessible, so that if I'm feeling a certain thing, I can kind of go for it. But most of the time it's intuitive. I've used very specific decks for my 2017 readings, as I did with my 2016 readings. And it's just more like how I feel those messages will be received. If it's a very difficult reading, maybe having a deck that is not super confrontational in its imagery can help, because when a client does get a reading with me, I send them pictures of their layout. So, if it's a hard thing if it feels like it's a sensitive issue, I don't necessarily need to be like, you want some salt in that wound? Okie dokie, here you go. But I don't pull punches either. If someone asks me if someone is into them and they're not, then I'm like, I'm not going to go, yeah, they're super into you, go for it. And then they'll be, that's not cool. But I will take into consideration a lot of things. Another thing that I take into consideration is if I know my clients, and I'm very, very, very blessed and fortunate to have some clients that I know quite well now, who I've been working with for a number of years. I know what they like. Like I know which decks like to speak to them, and I know what aesthetically they're very drawn to and what they respond to. So and that's another reason why I really like having a lot of decks to work with, because I love mixing it up and I love seeing how this interacts with this. And I do use multiple decks in a reading, and I've got videos and tutorials on that as well. So intuition, season, question. Those are probably the three ways I pick my decks for readings. I hope that rambled mess made sense. And thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. And I will see you tomorrow.